Good morning, students. Welcome back to your political science class. We were doing chapter 6 political parties, and let me also tell you this entire chapter 6 political parties will be a part of your next periodic test. Okay, though I would give a written information regarding the same, yet be informed that this will be a part of your periodic test syllabus. Okay, next periodic test. Now, the last class we discussed about political parties, and the topics covered were we were already introduced to political parties, the overview thing. Then we also talked about the need of political parties as to why do we need political parties. We also talked about meaning of a political party, which I also told you was important for a short question. And then we discussed about functions of political parties and necessity of political parties. We also differentiated between functions and necessities. Apart from that, we discussed about partisanship and ruling party. We talked about these two things, and also how many parties we should have. Now, two things which were not discussed were this entire page, moral force in politics, a moral force in politics, this entire thing, and then popular participation in political parties. These two things remain undone. I want to do this with you because I want to listen to your opinion, and I want to listen to what is your interpretation regarding these two points. Okay, so when we meet on Friday for a live class, we'll discuss these two things. Apart from this, I would also like to hear from you regarding your take on this cartoon, crunching the numbers. Okay, you see there are three figures: 27%, 35%, and 98%, and then the heading says crunching the numbers. So what is your understanding, what is your comprehension on this? We'll discuss on Friday. So please remind me on Friday that these three things need to be discussed, and then we'll proceed. Okay, now, last class, Friday, we talked about national political parties. And we had also talked about two political parties, two national political parties. One was All India Trinamool Congress, and another Bahujan Samaj Party. Now, before we proceed on to Bharatiya Janata Party, let me also give you a kind of idea as to the difference between a national party and a state party. See, students, to be very simple, to be very easy with you, state party, as the name suggests, it is limited within a state. Okay, it is limited within a province. Like you have the Uttarakhand Kranti Dal of Uttarakhand. Then there are many examples given here on page 81. You see, you have the Biju Janata Dal, you have the Sikkim Democratic Front, Mizo National Front, and Telangana Rashtra Samiti. Okay, and one extra example that I gave you is Uttarakhand Kranti Dal. Okay, that belongs to Uttarakhand. Now see, these parties have got representation only inside the state legislative assembly, but a national party is one which has got a following all over India. Okay, and has got a representation inside the Indian Lok Sabha. Okay, so state party representation only inside the state legislative assembly, and national party representation inside the Indian Lok Sabha. Apart from this, there are many things like a national party should be recognized, which we have already done, when we were talking about parties and all. National party is recognized by the Union Election Commission, and it should have minimum 6% of vote share at least in 4 states. We have done this. Okay, uh, if I'm missing out something, no, these are the things, these are the things which distinguishes national party and state party. And also, to elaborate, national party focuses on national politics, whereas state parties, they are restricted to their territory only. Okay, so in developmental issues, national party plans for the entire nation, whereas state parties only for that particular region. Now we had discussed All India Trinamool Congress, Bahujan Samaj Party. I also gave you the important points to be remembered: the founders, the leaders, the year of formation, and everything. And also, what does the party aim at? What is the party's mission? There are many things which, as a party, you need to submit as to what's your vision, your mission, your aim, your goal, your objectives, and all these stuff. Okay, so moving on to Bharatiya Janata Party. Now, Bharatiya Janata Party it was founded in 1980, but Bharatiya Janata Party, before being formed as Bharatiya Janata Party in 1980, was initially, Bharatiya Jansangh, which was formed by Shama Prasad Mukherjee in 1951. Okay, please remember this. Now, its aim is to build a strong and modern India by drawing inspiration from India's ancient culture and values and Deen Dayal Upadhyay's ideas of integral humanism and Antayodhya. Okay, um, you need to remember these things. Please underline them. We have, is that page missing? This is on page, yes, over here, Bharatiya Janata Party. Okay, Hindutva. Cultural nationalism is an important element in its conception of Indian nationhood and politics. Okay, so these are the things that you need to understand in Bharatiya Janata Party. And one more thing, you see, um, it came to power in 1998 as the leader of the National Democratic Alliance, that is NDA, including several regional parties. Emerged as the largest party with 282 members in the 2014 Lok Sabha elections. Okay, currently leads the ruling NDA government at the center. This is on page 80. Okay, I'm talking about page 80. I guess there are few points which are missing. Please cross check once with your textbook. Okay, this PDF, I guess, does not talk about 2 to 3 points which are included in your textbook. But yes, this NDA thing is there. This NDA thing is there, you see, at the top right hand side corner. um, 2004, and is the principal opposition. Okay, you see, it talks about only till 2004, isn't it? And in our textbook it talks about 2014 Lok Sabha elections. So the book has been revised, the PDF needs a revision. So it currently leads the ruling NDA government at the center. This also reminds me, I had asked you a question as to what's the difference between BJP and NDA, like um, what's the basic difference. Now see, BJP, Bharatiya Janata Party, is a political party. Okay, and NDA, National Democratic Alliance, is an alliance. Remember, we were talking about coalition governments and all. So it's a coalition of political parties formed by BJP. Okay, so BJP is a political party, NDA is an alliance, it's a coalition of political parties formed by BJP, and this was done in the year 1998 to form government in India. Like in Indian general elections, that are the Lok Sabha elections, which we also call general elections, voting takes place in 543 constituencies. Okay, to elect member of parliaments in Lok Sabha. Now what happens? A number of political parties contest for those 543 seats. And to form a government, a party needs more than half, you can say 272 plus that amount of seats. Now, this is very unlikely that a single party will get 272 plus seats in the parliament. So, what do? They form an alliance with other parties. Now, these other parties, they have the similar ideologies. Ideologies should match, like a communist party, its ideology is very different from that of NDA. Oh, sorry, from that of BJP. Yes, for that matter, you can say NDA also, because NDA, whatever parties have been integrated, whatever parties have been brought together to form NDA, they have the same ideology. Okay, and what happens, even if a party gets 272 plus, they form a coalition at times for inclusion or for various strategic reasons, maybe which are beyond the understanding of a common man. Okay, so NDA was formed in 1998, led by BJP along with few other political parties, to reach a 272 plus mark. Now there were many parties, to name, as like you have Shiv Sena, then Shiromani Akali Dal, then there are many other parties. I can remember these two parties. Then there are many parties from the south also, like Telugu Desam Party, then Haryana Janhit Congress. These all parties, they formed an alliance, okay, and then NDA came into the picture. Okay, there are many other parties. I guess numbers I do not remember, but it was a coalition of various other political parties. Shiromani Akali Dal, yes. Shiv Sena, yes. Telugu Desam Party, and then many. If you search, you will get the entire list which form a part of NDA. Okay, so NDA and BJP. You understood the difference now, and what had happened at the time of its formation in 1998. It was led by the Bharatiya Janata Party, since it was formed by the initiative was taken by Bharatiya Janata Party, and had 13 constituent parties. Okay, then we had a chairman to NDA and all these stuff, which is not very important for uh, mm, the topic that we are doing now. But yes, you should understand the difference between NDA and BJP. Okay, now, coming on to Communist Party of India, that is CPI. Okay, Communist Party of India, CPI. Now you see Communist Party of India, and then we have Communist Party of India Marxist. So CPIM and CPI. Now you know what had happened. Basically, this Communist Party of India became weak after the split in the party in 1964, and that is why it brought about the formation of CPIM. Okay, so CPIM is a child of CPI. In plain words, CPIM is the child of CPI. CPI, when it was split in 1964, then CPIM was formed. Okay, now Communist Party of India and Communist Party of India Marxist, almost they have the same ideologies. Now the thing is, as you can see, formed in 1925, I'm talking about Communist Party of India, formed in 1925, believes in Marxism, Leninism, secularism and democracy. Now you see, first we need to understand what communism is, and Marxism and Leninism and these things. Communism, communism in very plain words is a type of government, or as you can say, a kind of economic system. Communism. Please do not get mixed with communalism. Communalism is something else. Communism, what happens in a communist system, individual people do not own land, factories, or machinery. Okay, so government or the entire community owns these things, and everyone is supposed to share the wealth that they create. Now what led to the formation of communism was, by the 1800s, many countries all over the globe, they followed a kind of economic system which was known as capitalism. Now, in capitalism, individual people, or you can say capitalists, they owned property and they ran companies, and they became rich workers, and they became rich, and these workers were paid very little. Okay, they were paid very little. Now this led to the formation of socialism. So after capitalism, comes socialism, in which what happened, these capitalists and individual people, they did not own property and ran companies. Government started owning companies, and then government divided the wealth among the people. Now Karl Marx, a German thinker, he took this idea of socialism one step further. He brought communism. Okay, he brought communism, would be rather wrong to say. Like, he propagated the idea of communism. Now communism, he thought that that this workers class will bring about this working class will bring about a kind of revolution. And what will the revolution be like? They will overthrow the capitalists, and there will be a common ownership of property and no government. Okay, so working class will rule. Okay, so it will be a kind of revolution led by the working class, and they will be the owners. So they will not be oppressed and suppressed by the capitalists or by the individual rich individuals. Okay, this was propagated by Karl Marx. Then during Russian Revolution, somewhere around the year 1917, the first communist government came into power, and this was under the leadership of Vladimir Lenin. So from here we get the word Leninism. Okay, so Leninism and Marxism, because Karl Marx, the German thinker, had propagated the idea of communism. Now, what did Lenin do? He just, modified I won't say modified, he did not modify, he put Marx ideas into practice. Okay, whatever Marx's ideologies were, thoughts were, he put them into practice. And then rest remains a history. Then how, Soviet Union was formed, then how the United States and its allies reacted to this communism thing, and then there was an emergence of Cold War and how China reacted to it. Okay, how China reacted to it. Now these are the things which we won't discuss, but yes, we understood the difference between Marxism and Leninism. Okay, now coming to Communist Party of India, Marxist, CPIM, which was founded in 1964, believes in Marxism and Leninism. It supports socialism, secularism and democracy, and also opposes imperialism and communalism. Okay, Communist Party of India, that is Marxist, CPIM. Now communalism, we discussed about communism. Now what is communalism? Now communalism, communalism is very different from communism. Communalism is a belief that people who follow the same religion have common secular interests. That is, they have same political, economic and social interests. So over here socio-political communalities arise. Okay, so a belief or a notion that in a multi-religious society like India, these common secular interests of one religion are dissimilar and divergent from the interests of the follower of another religion. So basically, there is a kind of bifurcation, there is a kind of uh, division on the basis of religion. Communalism. Okay, so the interests of the follower of the different religion or of different communities are seen to be completely incompatible, hostile towards each other. So communalism has become a political trade in religion. Okay, it is an ideology on which communal politics is based, and communal violence are just consequences of communal ideology. So communalism, again, in plain words, is related to religion, multi-religion, and communal violence is one of the outcomes of this communal ideology. Okay, so it accepts democratic elections. Now I'm reading from Communist Party of India, Marxist, CPIM. So accepts democratic elections, of course, as a useful and helpful means, because democracy can only put a full stop to this kind of communalism, and enjoys strong support in West Bengal, Kerala and Tripura. Okay, and another thing which you need to remember over here is it was in power in West Bengal without a break for 34 years. Please underline 34 years. In the 2014 Lok Sabha elections, it won about 3% of votes and 9 seats. Now coming to Indian National Congress, popularly known as the Congress Party, one of the oldest parties. Where do we have? Yes, one of the oldest parties of the world. It was founded in 1885 by, you will tell me by. So founded in 1885. It's very easy to find out these days, just Google out, but please do that. Okay, I'll ask you on Friday. Founded in 1885 and has experienced many splits. Okay, played a dominant role in Indian politics at the national and state level for several decades after India's independence, and under the leadership of Jawaharlal Nehru, the party sought to build a modern secular democratic republic in India. Okay, ruling party at the center till 1977, and then from 1980 to 1989. I don't think you ought to remember these years and dates. Okay, just go through them. And then the last party, we have this Nationalist Congress Party. This was formed in 1999 following a split in the Congress Party. Okay, so there was a split and then this party was formed. Again, it talks about federalism, social justice, secularism and all these things. Again, the objectives, the aims, wants that high offices in government be confined to natural born citizens of the country, only the natural born citizens of the country. So these are the aims and objectives of Nationalist Congress Party. Now do one thing, just for a kind of advice to you, so that life becomes little easy. Wherever you are making notes or penning down these things, Write down all the parties. Okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 7 parties in your syllabus, 7 national parties in your syllabus. Write down the names of the parties, put down the symbols over there, because this was done last year also, and the students found it helpful. And in points, in points, the founder, the year, and the aims and objectives, maybe 2 to 3 aims and objectives. So if you are asked what are the aims and objectives, list down any two aims and objectives of All India Trinamool Congress. So things become very handy for you. Okay, so please do that. This will be helpful for you. Then we have these state parties. I already talked about state parties. And moving on to regional parties in India, we won't start today. Regional parties in India will start this. I don't think we'll get time on Friday. If we get time on Friday after discussing the things that I have told you, if we get time, then we'll move on to regional parties in India. Or else, this will be our topic to be done on Tuesday, next Tuesday. Okay? Then, thank you very much. So, we meet on Friday. Okay?